back. And not only that, we have a special guest. This is not gonna be a long live stream, but this is a special guest. I had to bring him on the show. Man, I can't believe it. It's an honor, it's a pleasure for me to introduce you guys to Thanos Theory. Man, you ladies, he is a ladies man. He is a ladies man. So guys, so if you see him getting the women kind of turned on, that's what he do. And not only that, but he also used to be in corporate America. He's now retired, but he's doing a lot of good things in the YouTube streets. Mind you, he's working with Anton Daniels on Fight Club. He have his own show, which is Thanos Theories. You guys can check it out every Friday night. I'll be over there. There'll be a lot of women over there. I don't know. Thanos got to tell me the secret. He be just doing his thing. And also, he's also hosting Fight Club as well with Aaron No, Chiki, and Sway. But like always, it's great to have you on the show, Thanos. Thank you. Welcome to the Chaos Culture Radio family. Let's do it. Jordan, do your thing.
What's going on, people? What's going on, people? We're in part two of Chaos Culture Radio. Even though, hey, people keep it up. Like I said, we always have surprises for you. Like we have here, we're doing a part two. So more of the topic, we're going to really talk about, either on the YouTube and also really climbing the corporate ladder, how to move the corporate ladder faster. Because a lot of in our communities, you don't see a lot of like black men or black women, or especially black men, really climbing the corporate ladder when it comes to either be blue collar or white collar. And we really want to get into the aspect of how we don't see a lot of those and how we can improve that. I have one video I'm gonna show you about moving up the corporate ladder, and after that we're gonna chop it up. Go ahead, King.
Yeah. Shout out to Motivated Vision for being here. Jabari, I'm glad that you're feeling blessed. Hey, Keisha M, what's happening? Keisha's here, Thanos.
Oh yeah, she's definitely one of my favorites from the Thanossphere and the dark side, quote unquote.
And you got Motivated Vision, man. Thanos, you see, you get all the women, man. God,
Yeah,
don't.
they
How to
coming.
go up the corporate ladder. If you're one of those people that doesn't want to start their own business but wants to make a lot of money in a job or in a business, you need to work closely with management and supervisors and owners. You also need to work hard and have a crazy work ethic so those people see your crazy work ethic, right? The most important thing is you need to provide value to the company. If you could show the company a way to increase your sales and better the customer experience, some type of creative idea, that's a win.
Yeah, there's a little short clip about climbing the corporate ladder. I know, like in my field, on my job, I've been in my job for like 2 years, and one of my managers, he's seeing me. He I think he talked about a couple of days ago. I've seen like I could move up in the company, and he can see me as not just a supervisor, but being like a store manager at my company. Just the things that I do. What the guy just said: improve sales. Do customer service. How you talk to people, how you talk to your employees, or how you try to make a plan to make to work better through your team and also better in sales. So Thanos Theory, man, I definitely want to pick your brain because going towards the building up building a corporate ladder and climbing the corporate ladder. So man, what is your thoughts about in our community, especially our community of black people, especially our black men, they're not really climbing up the corporate ladder like that.
Yeah. So what I've been seeing lately in the past couple of years, we usually, and I'm in IT. That's my background. So in tech, I'm noticing a lot of our brothers and sisters from overseas, basically immigrants who's taking advantage of the tech field. But I'm also seeing a lot of our women, taking advantage of it. So what I'm trying to do these days is give a couple gems to the fellas, like, hey, you might want to get on this. It's computers and tech, and it's several domains in tech. Something that you can get interested to where you can also make money and you can also keep up with the times. We're seeing a lot of stuff with AI. Things are getting automated. So even simple jobs like plumbers and electricians, you may not have to have people who are full engineers because they can do what we call smart hands, where they'll take a device, hook it up to the machine or whatever, get all the diagnostics, and you don't want to get basically priced, technology wise, be priced out of a job.
But in the aspect of tech, right? Thanos could use to do tech, right? Do you need to get a college degree, or do you just need a certification? Because right now, a friend of mine who's in the chat right now, Jabari, who does tech, he's actually right now doing a class teaching men, especially black men, on how they can start up. So, are you doing the same type of information that you don't need a college degree, or you do just need to
I'm,
do
I'm gonna
it?
be honest, Ronnie. I got 387,000 credits and didn't lock into to a degree because I moved so much.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was an army brat. You know, went all the way, graduated high school, and when my mother retired from the army, she moved down south, and I didn't want to be down there at all. I was like, I had a scholarship to go to George Mason for sports and education, but I was like, I don't ever want to come back. So I was like, I'm joining the Air Force. So I got my biggest jump from there. I've always been in computers on my own, just learning from different friends and things like that. But the biggest, like, far as the professional side of it, was in the Air Force, with the things I did in there. And after I did one term, and then basically what I do is when I get into a job, I always recommend that people go ask questions of people in other sections. So even though you're not necessarily doing that specific job, just go ask questions and kind of, give a little bit of your time to learn something new, because you'll never know when you're going to use it. I like to say, what I'm saying, it's better to be ready, stay ready than to have to get ready. So degree will help you, of course, especially when it comes to contractors in certain companies. They'll use a degree as a weeding out process in interviews. But if they see you got the skills and you also have certifications, which lets show them that you have a technical aptitude for what you're doing, it'll you can go very far and make a lot of money at a beginner salary in tech or STEM field altogether.
Go ahead, Hakeem.
Definitely. Definitely. Now, for a lot of people who don't know, what sectors of tech do you recommend that has the best job growth, longevity,
Mhm.
and maybe barrier to entry?
So of course, you're going to hear a lot about people saying, "Oh, I want to make apps." So that's going to be in your software. So you're going to get a lot of people who may be into coding. When I first started, I didn't want to do any program. I started with programming, and I'm like, man, I don't have the patience for this. This is just staring at a screen. You may have one or two words mixed up or commands, and be there for hours, days, sometimes weeks trying to fix a program. So then I switched and went into more of the help desk. I wanted to learn more of the computers and the server side of things, how things connect. But these days, cloud is going to be your best friend. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, all cloud is doing is just taking what we have hardware wise, and it's just mostly software. So
Mm-hmm.
all your bigger devices are stored at either Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Azure. You also save customers money because you don't have to buy all that equipment. They maintain all that stuff. The only thing you control is paying for data in and out.
Mm. Which platform do you think has the best job growth between Azure or AWS?
So AWS right now, they got on the game. They got in the game early.
Mm-hmm.
So they were the first ones doing it. So I think they have about 65% of the market. Azure, which is Microsoft product, is catching up fast because they can offer those products at a cheaper price because they have data centers all over the US. So they're going to help you price wise,
Mm-hmm.
but Amazon's been doing it longer, so they actually have the longevity to like get government contracts. They trust them, so they'll get those government contracts right now. But Azure is definitely catching up and getting a lot of stuff too. I think they won the last it's like 1.2 billion contract from Department of Defense.
Mm.
So they're definitely trying to catch up.
Go ahead, Jordan. I don't know if you had another question.
Yeah, I had a question. How do you feel about, you see, because you see, I live in California and I see a lot of tech, companies are moving to Texas, pretty much, Austin, Texas, because basically, a lot of people is moving out of California because of, they got strict rules and, prices is high. So how you feel about Austin, Texas being the new city of being a tech city?
Jordan, why you had to bring that up? Because that's actually the place I want to move to in Texas. I'm currently in the DMV and
Okay.
Austin. So that when they hear me say, "Oh yeah, I want to move to Texas," they're thinking I'm gonna say Houston, and I'm like, "No, do you know what companies are in Austin? That's the Silicon Valley for the Midwest."
Mhm.
So
Correct.
Really?
I definitely recommend it.
Wow.
Thanos. What about Dallas? I also hope Dallas is another tech hub as well that
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about.
That's another place I would move. Cause to be honest, I was sticking with San Antonio was my number one for years because of
Mm,
the military and the DoD
mhm,
opportunities there, federal contractors. But you also get benefits when you work directly for companies like Amazon, Microsoft,
mhm.
Rackspace. Like all these companies are there. So when Bush was in office and before he got out, he sent a lot of money there to bolster up the state before he got out, and they utilized that money well. So you see Tesla, building their mega plant up there. So it's definitely opportunity. They say the real estate is getting higher, but if you be smart with it, you can definitely um, catch up to where that won't be necessary too much of a burden. Because I tell people all the time, don't gentrification affects areas and things like that, but don't ever price yourself out of the market. Whether you want to move in that area or not, don't ever allow yourself as best as possible get priced out.
Thanos, why do you think what are the reason why especially black men don't take this opportunity in what you're saying in the tech field? What do you think what is the reason why they don't take this opportunity?
Um, I think they're just not used to seeing it. So it's one thing like to talk about stuff you're doing, but if they don't see it enough or you don't catch them early enough, they don't think anything outside of sports is going to bear fruit unless it's music, rap and things like that. So when you talk about IT, it's a mindset like that I even had to suffer through when I was younger, where that I had family members who would say, "Hey, you trying to be white or?" This that looked like it's too hard, you may want to do this and play basketball, you're tall. So a lot of people get swayed not to do this, and I wish we didn't do that in our community, but it's still happening to this day, and I hate that it is. So that's why I'm always so fast to talk to people to share these opportunities that I have, because it's taken me all over the world. I've been to 72 countries, lived in 21 of them, and just opportunity, just go seek it, make that little sacrifice, and believe me, it'll pay off.
I have a question for you.
Mhm.
I want to talk about barrier to entry, and I don't know if people mention this. So for a lot of people who do try to get into tech, and this is what I've heard, and I've even came to some bump in the road. So CompTIA is one of the leading certifications in tech, and a lot of people will be recommending people to go to A plus, Network plus, or Security plus for
Mhm.
those who want to enter that field. Now, mind you, what they don't tell a lot of people is those certification cost $200 to $300 per test,
Correct.
and if you fail it, you got to pay it again unless you get if you go through one of them things, you get a maybe what
Yeah.
10% discount. So this is the stuff that I've heard people say those tests cost too much money. How
Mhm.
I'm going to be a help desk representative, because a lot of people say, okay, go get your Google Coursera certificate, but nah, we need that A plus certification.
Correct. So the one I would recommend, to be honest, it's not one to be a money maker, but A plus is good if you're coming into IT brand new, fresh on the bottom floor, because it's going to teach you the components of how like your laptop hooks up to a network, hooks up to a storage, how cloud works. For example, your Apple ID, your iCloud, which is just Apple's cloud for your phone devices and MacBooks and stuff like that. Security Plus is one of the bottom certs required by the government to give you any type of admin um, permissions to basically to operate on the DoD network as an IT person. So Security Plus is the bottom cert I recommend that you look at next, and then you can start specializing in the other one, and that's the CompTIA certs. But of course, if you can get this in college or the community college, because matter of fact, you don't necessarily have to go to a big 4 year. community colleges have this to where you'll even get discounts for taking the training class, you know, the 3 credit class, and then going and they'll pay to take for you to take the test.
But
Certain jobs,
yeah.
military. I know a lot of people think you got to do a career. No, you don't. You go in there, you get your benefits. That small sacrifice for your country can set you up for the rest of your life.
No, you make a good point, because I also heard like on certain jobs, like for me, I work in the retail industry. Some
Mhm.
now they're offering employees to go, and they actually paying for them to go actually become tech, to work in
Yes,
behind.
check your jobs. Definitely check your jobs because a lot of people don't realize a lot of benefits that they won't ask their supervisor about because the supervisor may not know either. But ask because a lot of jobs do have like McDonald's. People wouldn't think that McDonald's will pay for you to go to school, but they will.
Really, I ain't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
Mhm.
they pay for you to go to school.
Yeah.
Kentucky
Yeah.
Fried Chicken,
This,
Walmart. Yeah,
this
they all pay.
Target.
wow,
Yep.
Yep.
that's great. That was saying because we don't know. That was saying it's a lack of our mindset. That was
Right, right.
the black community why we stay stuck. I know how
And
to
the thing,
go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, and the thing is, it be posted it like in the break room and everything, but a lot of people
Right.
that
That
work
that
there
board.
do not read what's in the break room. It's in the break room.
Right. Be like, yeah, it's more
Wow.
than just fire assignments when what to do in the fire drill type stuff up there. Some good information that's usually up there that people don't take just like 5 minutes just to take advantage. You drinking your soda or whatever, just go look at the board. You'll see all kinds of stuff that probably been sitting there for years.
Wow. So we do perish because of lack of knowledge. Look, because we're lacking in the area and we don't try to get that knowledge. Like, I'm being
Yeah.
honest, I know like certain companies do offer people to go to school. Because you know, people always talk about, oh, my tuition's high, this is high. And literally, your company will pay for you to go to school. So those are good free game for people that don't know that's listening in. But
Yeah,
go ahead.
we're kind of funneled in the box, Ryan. So when people like I said, you don't necessarily have to go to a big PWI or HBU to get this knowledge. You can go to community college, get those 2 years after the way out of the way, and then when you want to go to a bigger college, you know, because if they got a great program, then you'll switch over to that. But a lot of the stuff in IT, the barrier entry is low. If you can come through with that certification and pass their interview, they even have courses that you can take on websites like Udemy
Yep.
and other SkillSoft connected products. Where if you make a good interview, some companies would just like your attitude because I even with me, if I'm hiring, I don't look for someone who has 800 alphabets after their name. If you can't mix in with the team or your attitude seems like it's going to shake things up, that can do more damage than good. I'd rather bring someone up, someone who's willing to learn, someone who's hungry. I can work with them. It's somebody who worked with me. So that's why I'm always excited to give back.
No, that's wonderful. You said. I also want to talk about how you remember through the pandemic, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, what was promoting people to become full stack developers.
Right.
Full stack developers. Now it's more harder now to get a coding job as an entry level dev or a junior dev. You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on that? Like what you think are going to be the next wave that they're going to promote? Because right now the whole full stack developer game is sold up now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not even hiring no more. Right?
Well, I would say that's more of the effect on the economy. Because one thing
Yeah.
about IT, man, we always open. We will never fill IT jobs because just look at your family. How many people just be like, "Hey, could you come do this for me?" Because I don't feel like trying to log into their bank. Like my mom will call me or have a 15, 20 minutes trying to get into her accounts. So when Windows 95 came out in like 94, 95, they said that was supposed to be the last operating system and we wouldn't need IT support. It's supposed to be the last OS we'll ever need. And look at where we're at now. Stuff is getting more, even though we can do more and systems are more powerful, they're more complicated at the same time. So yeah, like the barrier entry is small. Let me see. You're gonna always need security. Security is huge. Y'all seeing now where you got most software and websites asking you to do 2FA or two-factor authentication, where you got to get the PIN and to send it to you as a text or email. That gives you another layer of protection because you have more people breaking into devices, aka hacking, to steal information and things like that. I know it's a hassle to do that stuff, but that's some of the best protection you can get where the software and things like that are still usable. So let me see, security, anything cloud related, network. So okay, go ahead, Prince.
No. Go
No,
ahead.
hey, I want to ask him a question because of the aspect. I know you kind of went through it, but I want you to go more in depth about the layoff with the tech workers. Can you explain to the people why is that happening? Do you kind of know what's going on with that? The tech
layoff. Well, so they're kind of doing it tricky this time with it. Like if you see like Facebook and Amazon and Tesla, they're requiring people to come in and work. Like they've been working remote for the past 2 years. So
Okay.
instead of just saying, "Oh, we're laying off all these," they're telling their employees, "Hey, if you don't come back to work, you got to find another job." So you put the onus
Okay.
on the employees, so it don't look like the company's just cutting all these people. And they know most people not trying to go home. But to go back to Prince Hakim's question, it's not that it's sold up. People want those remote full stack jobs and things like that. So they'll say, "Oh, well, it's hard to get." It's not that they're hard to get. It's just so many people are going for those remote jobs. They want to stay home. They messed up by letting us, find out that we can do everything that we would do at work, but can also run errands, go to the gym. I don't have to buy suits. I don't have to buy all these clothes. I can just roll out the bed, put my robe on, gym shorts, and sit and get my work knocked down. I don't have to drive through traffic, none of that. So when you hear that, a lot of times they're trying to go after those jobs where they're paying big money and working remote. Because some people will work in 2 jobs. Because if you got the right remote gigs, you can make $300,000-$400,000 just off 2 jobs starting off. And cloud and getting into data analytics and things like that. So, I mean, I don't recommend you do that off the bat, but this is just some of the flexibility working remotely gives you.
Mm-hmm. And I also say one of the things that helped work remote was this YouTube thing because back in the COVID, the pandemic, YouTube was kind of popping up and everything as well, podcasts and everything, and that kind of added to people want to you kind of work remote by doing by doing their podcasts or doing their shows on the YouTubes and everything. So I would say that kind of put in fact that people kind of want to work remote as well, also with the YouTube and podcasting.
Yeah, that's when I got into it. I did the whole. My sister actually put me on Kevin Samuels. Then Kevin Samuels went to Lapeef Network one day, and I went there, and then that's when I found out. I'm like, people on here live, and you can talk to them because I'm just used to watching IT tech. I love cars, so I was always watching pre-records. I didn't know anything about it live, and then people can have multiple people on a panel. So I kind of been stuck in there for like 2 years. I did take a 5-month break last winter, but I started my channel, and that take a lot of dedication and work too. So sometimes it bogs me down, or I may not do as many shows as I need to. But it's definitely something else you can leverage. I need to start doing some IT stuff to put out there, but yeah, it do take a lot of work. I'm gonna be honest.
And we feel you on that, yo. We definitely hear you. You just gotta be consistent.
Hey, Jordan, I love how you did that. I love how you just segue in right to the next conversation because I was just asking about the YouTube career. So, what made you start off YouTube? What made you come into YouTube, and what made you got into creating your own channel? Go right ahead.
I said about the Kevin Samuels thing and all that. My sister bring me to Lapeef. I started my own channel because on our side, on the dark side, I didn't know it was mostly entertainment. And much as I love, having fun just like anyone else, I realized that this is another thing that's keeping us held back as a people, is that it's all about fun. It's all about going out, or we're singing, or we're dancing, or playing sports. No one's talking about the STEM. They're talking about people going to college and things like that, but they're not getting degrees that's going to give them that security. Because like COVID, like if you're doing a job where you have to be hands-on and that particular place got shut down because of COVID, you kind of took care of yourself. So you want to, I say, get you a COVID-free position to where it can be hybrid, so it can be remote, or it's something that can't be shut down and they need your particular skill set. So that little bit of extra hard work to work certain jobs definitely work and it'll pay off because if it's something that everybody can do, you have a lot of job security within that. Let me see. But yeah, I started my channel because I wanted to have real conversations. I see the holes in a lot of the entertainment and wanted to get people to sometimes take a break to think, hey, do I like where I'm at in life? Am I doing enough? My personal thing I do is if I'm too comfortable, I'm going to do a whole like look within and without. Could I be doing more? Could I be helping someone else? So I took it like that. So I have my channel like because I want to have real life conversations because a lot of people do separate this and think that because you're on a channel that it's not real life. No, it's real life. We're just on a computer. So one thing I try to do is if you had the chance to meet me out in the street in person, you get the same person. So I don't have to come in where I'm a character and then when I'm an actual human being. Besides my name, of course.
And I read that, but what made you come up with the name Thanos Theory? Because Thanos is very powerful, especially in the Marvel universe.
Right. Because and it sounds kind of dark, but everybody's not gonna make it. I used to be the guy that used to utilize all the time I had and to the detriment of myself. Like I know I would be way further along, but since I'm an empath, I do care about my community, even though they try to say I don't. But even with my family, I always use examples of my family so people don't get defensive. I've tried to get several people in my family, put them on, and I just couldn't do it. And then next thing you know, they're treating you bad or making you guilt tripping you for actually getting the stuff done. So it got to the point to where I was like, man, I can't keep killing myself and keep worrying about people who don't worry about themselves. So yeah, I still love them. They're my family. I just keep the business and professional side separate. So when I go around, a lot of my family is just that, and then I go back and do the work. But yeah, that's one of the main factors.
How do you navigate through the YouTube spaces, especially as far as like mingling with different content creators and what you consider tasteful and tasteless?
I'm gonna be honest, man. Like leading with respect, even though a lot of people don't, a lot of people run on, you need to earn my respect first. Because I lead with respect, long as it's nothing that's physically or mentally damaging me, I can give grace, and not take everything personal to where I need to retort to everything or get back, quote unquote. Networking is so important in life and in YouTube because it allows you to get to other areas or grow. Sometimes people move so fast and don't have the patience that they'll cut off their blessings without even knowing it because they let that ego get in the way. And I talk a lot about ego and pride that stops you from all kinds of things. Like I done see many people lose many opportunities just because they will let feelings come up in business. Business is business, and check your emotions at the door. You get the work done, and then you can get back to that part. Because I'm not saying be a robot, but it's two separate things that people keep mixing up.
You said something so powerful, and I think that's no, it did and I could be transparent and say that's kind of stumped my growth because I'm not a good networker, not at all.
Okay.
I'm horrible. If it wasn't
not me, baby.
Listen, I'm gonna become. If it wasn't for him, I had this YouTube channel for a minute. It's because of him. And this guy here, we got into the point where we at. Because I just don't want to be a part of none of that sucker stuff. Because don't get me, I'm for real. Like Ronnie will tell you, I grew up in the streets. So when I get on YouTube now, it's a lot of dudes who I see on here, and then there's certain content I just can't mingle with. Cause it's like I know that in real life, I know this. You're not really like that. You know what I mean? So I try to keep my emotions to myself to be like, but I know that hurts me in the point of trying to get to where I need to go. Cause there's things I do need help in, and I think that's the question I would love because I think there's a lot of black men in the space who needs to know how to be able to network and put certain things aside to be able to work with other brothers, even though you might disagree with their beliefs or ideologies.
Or
Yeah,
how?
yeah, because a lot of people forget about the fact too. It's not a lot of us in a lot of these spaces,
Mm.
so they will, check. I don't look like the average guy in the space. Like I'm almost 6'5", what I'm saying, 290. And so they don't I'll come in the room. So I work on a military base, and then sometimes I work at the Pentagon. And one thing, they'll look at you, start talking in the room, and don't realize that what I do for a living or what I'm in charge of. So they'll start running their mouth and this and that because they're not introducing themselves. They just automatically just write me off like, oh, he just some guy probably do something, and then they'll announce my name or whatever like that, and you just see them turn beet red. So a lot of times that gives me satisfaction. They'll ask me what I do for a living and get the deer in the headlights look. I don't have to attack you. Like that's just satisfaction to let you know, yeah, I'm here and I know what I'm doing.
Thanos, the beautiful, lovely Lotus has a question. She said, "Hey,
Oh.
good evening, everyone. Thanos, what certifications do you recommend transitioning from health information to tech?"
Lotus, to be honest, I would kind of leverage that health information because health informatics is IT in the medical field. And I know they need more people since everything is going to a cloud solution. So when you're dealing with HIPAA, the Health Information Portability Act, if I mess up anybody in the medical field, you know what I mean. That stuff is very important and much needed. So if I were you, I would focus on security and anything data management, data analytics. But I would kind of leverage that health information field because that's kind of like its own thing too. Health informatics.
Thanos, you so laid back, so chill. I will ask you, what made you go into the dark side of YouTube? Because you so laid back and chill.
I thought that was the only side, and then I didn't necessarily know it was dark because it was coming off like, hey, we're building a community, and you got to realize as a child, I grew up 6 years in Germany. I'm originally from New Jersey, so I know what the hood looked like, from East Orange and Newark, New Jersey. But I got excited to see like all these black people using a tech platform to talk about issues and things like that. That's why I was like, I took that break when I found out, oh, a lot of this is just entertainment and it's no solutions. It's like we keep talking about what's wrong, but where is the solutions? And so, and that's what helped guide me towards my channel eventually, because, I found some like-minded people in this space. And one thing I don't like to do is I give everybody an opportunity to talk to me. People assume just because, the stuff I have, if I'm successful or whatever, that I would be stuck up, but I'm far from that. Like, I got this weird love of people that sometimes, people say you got too much patience, but man, you don't know who you gonna meet. Like I could look at Ryan and be like, oh, I know he probably about that life and but you're a whole different dude once you have a conversation. I met so many people in this space. Stay away from her, stay away from him. But then I end up having a conversation with them and end up finding out that they're great people. And even if they're not what the world think they should be, I at least know why they may move the way they move, why they may speak the way they speak. So then I can offer without trying to force them to do it. Like, hey, why don't you try switching it like this? Because then you can leverage that. You don't have to change who you are as your core, but manipulate it to get what you need so you can put yourself in a position to be your own boss, to be, however you want to be. Because, there's some conversations like hair. You don't see a lot of people with, locks and things like that higher you move up. You may not see a lot of guys with beards and things like that. It's getting more common now, but before it was all about the what I call the baby booty face, like no mustache, no nothing. Yep. You in a suit and that's how we doing. But some people don't like that and they feel that they're selling out if they switch. But I tell people, man, that's a small sacrifice for yourself. You don't have to do it. It's just how fast you want to progress or, how hard you want to work. Some of that stuff will make it easier. I'm not saying it's right. It's just the world we live in. And that's the part I was talking about, the ego and emotions and separating it from that. Like, hey, what you trying to do? What you trying to get? Because you don't have to be here forever. Don't ever plan what they say the average black man make like 46,000.
Yep.
You're not supposed to
Yeah.
be making that for the rest of your life. So
Preach.
yeah, so when they had that conversation, it's okay to make 46,000, 20, 23 years old because you're not supposed to be staying there. I didn't start really making my money till my late 30s. And now since I'm 43, like I might need to slow down, but I'm not even I don't even think I'm gonna retire cuz like IT, man, if stuff fix, you really
Hey
not
Thanos,
doing nothing until something
hey
breaks.
Thanos, I'll just say it, Thanos. You haven't reached your peak. Yeah, you still go keep
Right.
going.
Yeah.
Right, growth to the grave. I love to say that. Like growth to the grave. Like you can always learn something new from young and old. It ain't no thing that, oh, you too young to be telling me this and that. That's why I said earlier, I allow myself to talk to people because I've learned stuff from all over and places you wouldn't think I would learn something from. Just because I allowed myself to have the conversation.
Um, I don't know how far I want to go because I'm trying to keep it clean.
No, you good, bro. Like,
Okay, good.
I'm pretty
Okay, we're
much
gonna
even
put
an
that.
open book over there to, people be like, man, why you be telling that? I'm like, hey, I hold myself accountable for the things I've done wrong. So I don't mind sharing because it could help somebody else. Like,
Oh, okay, good. You don't know because I was gonna ask you in the aspect of how do you meet like certain these people like Anton, because I know he's one of your people that you cool with. How do you meet? How you linked up with Anton? Like, how do y'all relationship start growing? Yeah.
I did so of course, doing the panels, when he started, Flight Club, but I had already joined the Millionaire, not the Bag Chasers. But we really hit it off when I did a coaching call and then met him at one of the events in New York, Bag Chaser meetup, and we met in person and stuff like that, and kicked it, and
Oh, so
I got his phone number, everything,
you
huh?
did a coaching call with him?
Oh yeah. But it
What?
was funny because he was like, "What are you calling me for?" I got it on my IG, and he
Exactly.
was like that. He was like, "Why are you calling me? You pretty much got
Everything
everything
all right with
together.
you.
So what are you calling
Exactly.
me for?" So he a good dude and he real because he could have been like, "Hey, I need you to buy this book, that book for like $59.99 and blah blah blah." But nah, we had an honest conversation. It wasn't that long. He didn't BS me, and he actually gave me props on the Millionaire Morning Show. Like, hey, keep up the good work. Just you may change a little bit right here, but pretty much he was like, you on the awesome track. So salute to Anton.
That's what's up. Salute to Anton, man. Yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
No, I'm good. That was all I had.
So I want to ask you a question. What do you think about the brothers who want to get in tech, but they might have a felony or a criminal record?
Long as you're not doing anything that's classified and with banking, I think you should be good. But like if you're talking about more of tech and support and things like that, I think it should be some companies. You know what? That'd be a good thing for me to look into to put that information out. So I appreciate that, Jim, right there, because I never thought about that. But since you can do this stuff and learn it on your own, you can get your skills up to the point to where you make yourself like how the FBI or hire people that they arrested because they know like this stuff happens for real. It's just not on TV. Like when it's come to getting somebody who knows what they're doing and they're nice at what they do, they're rare commodity. It's not too many people you run into that can build a network from the bottom to the top.
Wait a minute. So FBI literally hire some of these hackers?
Yeah, things like that. Because you got to realize everything has good or bad. If you that good at doing something bad, just imagine. So you got white hats, which is the good hackers, or what we call it. Basically, what they do is just try to penetrate networks. So like a penetration tester, like Google will hire people to try to break into some new software or part of their network to test to see if there's any holes in it. And those people get paid.
Yep.
So anytime you see a software, it's like, hey, we got these group of people. You try to break it, we'll pay you this much money. So, and then of course you got the dark hackers. A lot of them coming out of Europe and Eastern Europe and Russia. Some of the best in the world, most dangerous in the world. And so sometimes they flip them. You know what I mean? So,
go ahead, Hakeem.
No, I was gonna say, and let me ask you, why do you think a lot of people want to do more glamorous jobs in tech, and they don't go after something like a database administrator or an AWS administrator or something that does make that kind of money, but it's not even much talked about.
It's like our real life. If it ain't the limelight, if it ain't quote unquote lit, people just automatically count it out. Just like the guy who kept his head low was in the books learning. Oh, he lame. Until I come to the classroom reunion in the Bentley. Oh, dang, that's
Breathe,
him.
Thanos.
I used to throw him in the locker. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, and a lot of times too, I even said that I was that guy. Oh no, I want to be servers. That's all I want to do is be the guy to control all the access to the servers and things like that. And then one day, I saw a dude just typing all these commands in a computer, and I'm like, I used to think that was whack, but that looked kind of fly. You know, like if you don't have no mouse or nothing, and you just and he can shut down the network, bring it up, turn this port on, turn this one off, and then next thing I know, I started studying networking, and then got into like the Cisco stuff and things like
Cisco
that.
CCNA.
Yeah, but that's what make me so I'm a architect now, so I can build systems from the bottom to the top. What I do for the DoD is make sure all the telecommunications lines that connect the like bases and federal buildings, I make sure they got internet connection on the big pipes. So take that router you got in your house and just times it by 50 to what create cities, what connects cities and things like that. So when you see that orange cables being buried throughout the city and things like that along the highway, those are the things that I make sure get to different places.
Yeah. Now that Thanos, how can someone create a hustle? Let's say if you met a guy like me, I don't have hustle, I have low self-esteem. How can you get me into the way of thinking the way you think?
Well, one thing I tell people too is that take my blueprint, but I expect you to create your own off it. Like you can follow it to the T. I just don't want you getting caught up to like if something didn't work, it's like, why did you tell me this? Blah, blah, blah. No, I expect you to take my life or parts of my life and find out more efficient and better ways to do it. Because you shouldn't grind as hard as me to get it. I didn't have too many people to follow, so it's supposed to be easier for you. Like the same reason why I wouldn't just kick my sons out in 18 if they wasn't squared away, because I don't need you to learn the lessons I learned. This is why I worked hard, so you can have a better opportunity to do things better. I want you to be better than me. So it's like that. So yeah, just take some of the skill set I have, but because you got way more access to information, I wish I had YouTube. I used to read encyclopedias, bro, but they didn't have IT stuff in it. Our IT books was actually books from like the late 70s, 80s when I was in high school. I went to high school in 94, 95 and graduated in 99. And we didn't have the connections and the internet was the baby. So the people who got access to information now, I get mad when I see people waste the opportunity. You could just pick up a video. Hey, what's the top 10 tech jobs to get into? And you got it right there. So it breaks my heart when I see people just waste this opportunity, because also living overseas, like I actually seen what no opportunity look like. I know our country's not perfect, but when I talk about opportunity and a chance because of capitalism and things like that to go as big as you can, our opportunity is here. Just a lot of us just don't take advantage of it. That entitlement just weighs us down. Like everybody's just not gonna give you something.
All right, my final question of the night. So Thanos, are you single? Are you seeing anybody? And I'm gonna bring you back for another part.
So that just had to come through.
Yeah,
IT.
let ladies know, because they love the Thanos. So
I'm definitely talking to talking to people. It's you always got that special one, but I look at it like you build that friendship. And like it can go from there, because I think we rush so fast into things that people don't check to see if they got their stuff together or not, or if you're even prepared to be in a relationship. I don't want to be, you know, a year down the road and could have asked the question day 5, but I didn't find out till a year later, or I didn't know your credit score was 325, and it's down to the point I'm trying to buy a house, and it's like you ain't know her credit score was that bad. Well, you didn't ask. Like, nah, you shouldn't. We don't want things like that. But no, I'm looking to be married. So even though the new narrative is marriage ain't beneficial and things like that, there's no benefit for men. But I don't go into situations looking to lose. I know it's always a chance that you could take an L, but if you were willing to learn those lessons, bro, like that risk versus reward is a real thing in finance, professional life, and your love life. You can't control another autonomous being. Make sure you do the best that you can do so you can be ready for when that opportunity comes. Because we've all had, you know, girls that we've talked to and it didn't work out. It is what it is. But allow yourself time to actually learn somebody. You know, they say men and women can't be friends, but they can, because I can talk to my exes. Maybe one I can't, but most of the women I talk to, I can talk to them because I established that friendship. And I also didn't try to do them dirty. And same thing with business. Don't try to do somebody dirty. You know, if it's, of course, get your hustle on and all that. But you got to realize, hey, every choice you make got, you know, it may have some bad, well, it has good or bad outcomes. So
We'll
I
bring
just gotta
we'll
stay
bring it
positive.
back. We'll bring it back for part 2 because I know Hakeem and Jordan dive in. I don't know
do.
if you guys keep
I was gonna ask some questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I got two sides, so that'll be good. And I don't mind talking because yeah, when I was early, yeah, I was even though I was in tech, I was kind of the guy that could. I did all the nerd stuff, but I also was an athlete, so I was in all the groups in high school. So you know, I talked to like the what they call the kids in the all black, the
Oh yeah, the Obama
emos,
kid.
and
Yeah.
yeah, all those
The
guys. So
Gores. Yeah,
I
the Gores.
always just networked. So it started before I even knew what networking was. I'm just a people person, and I just like learning new things. So that's knowledge as well as learning people.
So Hakeem, Jordan, y'all have any final questions? Because I know Thanos is a very busy man.
No, definitely. Just as we send it off, because for the replay, because they might be interested on, hey, you know what I mean? Like, what's the easiest tech cert to get that's the most affordable? That I could just start my tech career right away, and then I could follow a trend from there.
You know what I tell people to do? You talking about like a CompTIA cert on average maybe 250 to 300.
Yeah.
Just put that little 20 something to the side. So when you buy that little bottle, you know, E&J, Parmesan, Hennessy, whatever like that, every bottle you have could be closer to that certification. So, you know, of course, spend money on yourself a little bit, but throw something in the side. Have an account just for certification. And you could throw $20, $30 a paycheck. And then next thing you know, you got a nice lump sum that you keep just for certification.
So
Because you got to remember, you don't have to do that for the rest of your life, because once you get into a lot of jobs, if it's a requirement, they have to help pay a lot of the times for you to keep that requirement, because you don't want to lose good people over something like that.
So you recommended a tech cert first, like CompTIA Tech before anything else?
Yeah, like if
Before
you're not going to
Amazon.
college, start knocking
Yeah.
out certifications.
Okay.
Yeah, and I recommend if you brand new, if you don't know IT at all, take that CompTIA A+. Oh, you don't have to take the certification too. Like the $9 and $10 classes, they always have flash sales on udemy.com, udemy.com, and just learn the information. Learn the information. So, and then sometimes you can get an interview and they'll hire you and give you 6 months to get certified.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't forget that. Like even the government, the federal government will hire you on and give you 6 months. You know, if you get past the interview, give you 6 months to get the actual certification. So it's a lot of people who have information in a lot of domains of IT that may not necessarily have the cert right there. Like I got certs that are expired, but I still know the information.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. So I could definitely help you guys out.
Yeah. So anybody else
Yeah,
have any questions for Thanos in the chat
that's true.
now, as we are about to end? Any questions at all?
Man, I like this setup, man. Like this was cool. I like how you guys got this. It's professional. You know, nothing crazy. You know, people respect each other. Ain't no
Yeah.
name call. Oh, that's Cap. Like none of that. So you know, I love it over here.
No, but the thing is, Thanos, what we realize is sometimes it's good to do closed panels.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why we do closed panels, more structured and more organized.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, Thanos, they were asking you how can they reach you?
And
Oh, IG is my best bet, and I can give you my my work cell,
Yeah,
and we could chop it up on there.
yeah. Give it to me in the back. Yeah, give it to us in
Okay.
the.
Lotus asks, what is the best intro to graphics before you go, Thanos?
I'm actually intro to graphics. I'm trying to learn what software I'm trying to use because I was gonna do the because I started with Canva at first. I was like, what is this crap? And then next thing I know, I started loving it and getting better. But then I found out there's more professional platforms out there. So I was like, you don't necessarily need to draw. You just need to have some type of artistic, inspiration, and you could put together some stuff that you would have never thought.
Yeah.
Because the software helps you out. Da Vinci, I bought a camera, so I bought my first professional camera, the one I'm streaming on now, Alpha 6700, so it does the good pictures and decent video, and I'm teaching myself to learn that. So even though I could have bought a bigger and better camera, don't jump out the window until you find out you like something, because I'm the guy who will buy something and is next thing you know it's still sitting in a box in the basement. So when I moved, I figure out like, oh, dang, I remember when I bought this and only used it once. So camera's been pretty good to me. It made me like to get into graphics. So
Have you gotten into Photoshop?
So part of the venture, I'm learning the beginning of it because I do. So I'm the guy who likes to read the instruction manual.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like some stuff I can go in there and just float around, but I've seen people buy some of the greatest stuff and didn't realize all the things it could do. Like I come around and do something with their TV, their stereo, blah blah blah, and they'd be like, "Oh, I didn't know that could do it. You didn't read the instruction manual? Oh no, I just hooked it up." So, so YouTube is awesome, awesome, awesome to learn anything. I should not have people, and this not to anybody personal, but for the most part, if you can't get a person to give you the information you need, YouTube and Google is your best friend, best friend.
Facts.
Because I would love to have had it during my journey in my younger days.
Definitely
hear that.
But like always, but shout out to you, Thanos. I really do greatly appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy man.
Oh no, I got you, man. I was on Nida's channel just acting up. That's it. That's why I was like, I'm not too serious.
I love this conversation, and now that I think a lot of people learned a lot from you tonight, and I said that's why you're a dope brother. That's why I fuck with you. So that's why
I appreciate
I had
you
to tell
coming
Hakeem
around.
and Jordan about you, man, because I was like, you got to meet this guy named Thanos, man. He the man. He the man.
Hey man, hey. I say it like this, man. I just try to take advantage of opportunities when they come.
That's it.
Leave with respect, and you don't know who can come back and bless you, because they actually pulled me over to Fight Club kind of because of how I move and things like that. So you never know who could be there to bless you, or so.
Yeah, you do. You move with that structure, and that's why I like you. You remind me of Hakeem. Y'all move like the same way, straight to the point. That structure and very calm and cool and very collected when it comes to ladies. So, like always, guys, you never know who we may have on the panel. Shout out to Thanos. I already dropped his channel in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe, support this brother. He's up and coming. Well, most of you guys already know.
Up and coming in this space. Hey, I'm humble with it. I think I got 444 subscribers. So it's one thing new that I get to conquer. So I like setting goals and trying to meet them. So yeah.
And also, Thanos, you will send us your information. I will link you up in the back. Okay.
Okay.
So, like always, guys, thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio in this special moment with Thanos. We'll be back on Friday. We over and out. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.